Battlebit Remastered just released yet another update, and we're going to go through the patch notes real quick, as well as bundle some of the changes that happened last week that weren't really covered all that much. So first things first, there is a brand new map called Kodiak. You can see some of the screenshots on screen right now. So you can see the top-down view. They say it's a much more claustrophobic close quarters map than other maps that are in the game. But this is yet another new map that we're getting for Battlebit, and it doesn't seem like they're going to slow down on the content anytime soon. Moving on to some gameplay changes. Now, I'm sure if you played over the course of the last week, you noticed that they added weekly challenges. So this just gives you extra ways of earning some more XP in-game. So every time you complete a challenge, you get a flat XP rate. And when you complete all of them, you get a 4x XP boost capped at 100,000 XP. And then when you reach that cap, the XP boost ends. Well, that XP boost has now been changed, so the cap has been increased to 250,000 XP. So you get 4x XP up to 250,000 XP after you complete all the challenges, which is absolutely fantastic. They also changed that during bandaging, you cannot switch targets anymore. So you know how you were trying to bandage yourself and then somebody would die and then you'd switch to bandaging them, and then somebody would get hurt, then you'd switch to bandaging them. Well, that's not going to happen anymore. So once bandaging has begun, unless they are bandaging another teammate who then moves away. So if you're bandaging yourself, you're bandaging yourself. It's not going to be switching targets all the time, which is a very welcome quality of life or gameplay change. So moving on to UI and UX changes. So they fixed an unintended blue filter on the screen. Brightness settings will now adjust the screen's brightness instead of applying gamma. They fixed the UI bug where users were shown the option to bandage another player even when the latter was out of reach and unbandageable. They fixed that, so that was last week, how much clutter there is on screen at any given time. So they say constantly seeing friendly icons in a game that supports up to 127 players on one team can be distracting, and detecting if you can see 127 players precisely is extremely resource heavy. So disabling/fading friendly markers based on distance runs the risk of making players mix friendlies with enemies on long to medium distances, which is arguably worse. So they said as an experimental solution, we've added culling based on players' screen size, the amount of space player takes on screen, and physics checks on players' random points based on how small/big the player is on screen. And if the player is not visible over a certain time, the icon will fade out. So I think to see the icon of a player, you have to physically see that player for a certain amount of time or certain points of that player, and if you don't see them, then the icon will just fade away, which is a very welcome change, because yeah, if you're playing on 127v127, there can be a lot of stuff on screen at any given time. Moving on to various bug fixes and such. So network packet prioritization, important actions like hit registration, kill confirm, and player movement will have higher priority on network packets over the rest of the data, which means that hit detection should feel much cleaner in this update. So they improved networking for packet loss recovery. They prioritize networking packets for hit registration, which I just mentioned. They fixed a bug that caused server crashes after an extended period. Fixed an issue where grenades sometimes dealt damage through walls, which was infuriating. And a couple more things before I forget. They added collision for cosmetics headwear that don't count as helmets, so it'll take a flat 1 damage and then the rest of the damage will go through the player's head as usual. They added parapet on rooftops, which is those like quarter walls around some rooftops that you can see. Well, now they added it on, I think, most of them. So you get more protection when you're on a roof, but if you're trying to shoot people directly below you, then you're going to be a little bit more exposed because you're going to have to jump on top of those little like quarter walls all around the rooftop. They also added a 30-second respawn timer for suicide punishments. So now if you decide to respawn, you're going to get a 30-second respawn timer as opposed to the, 5 to 6 second respawn timer that we usually get. So that pretty much does it for the patch notes of update 2.1.9. It was a slightly smaller update in terms of bug fixes and changes, but we got a brand new map, which is awesome, but a lot of welcome quality of life changes in said update, as well as the weekly challenges we got last week and all that stuff. But yeah, that'll do it for today's video. Let me know what you think of these changes. If you get a chance to try the new map, let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.